finals. EGC.
We are here with the finals of the VGC. While I'm fixing my co-caster's microphone as it has been fixed, we have seen both these players play before, and we're seeing them play one final time as well. Let's take a look at what these players will bring.
Indeed, Marius, we saw the team just a moment in the previous match against me, ripped me, with the Archeldon, Pelipper, Indeedee male, Amoonguss, Gallade, and Basculegion male.
Yep, while on Elias' side we have Hisuian Typhlosion, Whimsicott, Annihilate, Ursaluna, Bloodmoon, Farigiraf, and Clefairy. So what are we feeling like?
Well, I think Elias is here at the upper hand because they played each other in Swiss rounds, and Elias won that round. So both have experience with the team, both know what can be expected, and Elias won that. Now it's up to Marius, how he can adapt to that round. It's been a while ago. A couple of hours. Still a while.
It's been ages.
Ages, I tell you, ages. No, but still, Marius has to adapt to Elias's game plan and see how that works out for him.
Exactly, as we have seen Whimsicott be very effective with the Tailwinds and the Sunny Days, as it is Whimsicott, Annihilate, while it is Indeedee and Amoonguss.
Yeah, the Indeedee is indeed a special one here, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone around, we see that the Indeedee male is, of course, holding that choice scarf, which means Trick is on the team. And yeah, a Whimsicott or an Annihilate with Trick, it's not the worst option, but I think it can disrupt a good amount of Elias's plans.
There's an absolute reason that Indeedee male has been surging up as well, because it is also one of those Pokemon that learns Expanding Force, which will be boosted in its own terrain, hitting both targets as well, hitting Annihilate for super effective damage, and hitting this Whimsicott for a lot of damage as well.
Yeah, indeed, and also you get that psychic terrain up as well. So, and it is, if I remember correctly, also more offensive than the female one.
Yes, correct.
So yeah, that extra amount of damage that Indeedee male provides in the psychic terrain is pretty huge. We see that the Tailwind is going up for Elias' side on the field, meaning that Lion goes for Drain Punch, going into the Indeedee slot, doing a lot of damage. Trick goes off as well. I don't see against which Pokemon it is.
It will be revealed in just a second. It is the Annihilate with the Choice Scarf.
And the Assault Vest goes into the DD slot, and Spore goes off into Annihilate as well, meaning that turn he is asleep. Now, that's Elias is locked into Drain Punch. Not the worst.
Not the worst, honestly. Well, he's not locked yet. He can still switch this turn because he hasn't exchanged it in the turn before he used his attacks, so he can still switch his attacks, but unfortunately he is asleep.
Yeah, indeed. And but you saw how much the Drain Punch has already done against it in DD. Yeah, I think like you don't mind locking into Drain Punch once again, because there are a couple of Pokemon into Marius.
No, you do mind.
Yeah, now that was the only exception that I wanted to mention, but Marius was faster than my words, so let's see what is going on the field right now.
Is Terra on the Whimsicott, making sure that this Slush Bomb, because his Amoonguss is carrying Slush Bomb, which is 4 times effective on this Whimsicott, will not be able to guarantee KO it. Annihilate takes its first turn of mandatory sleep, as a Moonblast is coming out into that Basculegion, doing a bit of chip damage, which can always be good, as the Slush Bomb is coming out into the Whimsicott. No poison, but this Whimsicott has been chipped down as well.
Yeah, and it's actually good for Marius that the poison doesn't go off, because yeah, now if the poison goes off, you can't put it to sleep anymore, which is also always unfortunate if you're the Amoonguss, of course. Annihilate sleeping once again for 2 turns right now. We see a Moonblast getting fired into that Amoonguss once again. Yeah, I think lowering a special attack, but I don't know if that was really meant to be for Amoonguss, or Elias was saying something first. We see a Sport coming off.
Could have been a hard call for the potential switch out there.
Indeed, probably expecting the Pelipper coming in because you want that Swift Swim bonus when that Annihilate wakes up next turn, so you are faster there. As a Basculegion, we saw the last respects going off into the Whimsicott, if I'm correct, still surviving, and Spore was already into the Annihilate slot, predicting that it would wake up this turn.
Yeah, so being in this position, because you're always the fear of the potential Pelipper switching, you can always have that Sunny Day being manually put up by this Whimsicott. Whimsicott is standing on its last legs as well, so really having to scout the options right now. We know that the Basculegion is locked into that last respect, but this Annihilate has taken 2 turns of sleep, meaning it could very well wake up in the next turn. But unfortunately, a third turn of sleep off for this Annihilate, as this Whimsicott is going for another Moonblast into this Basket Legion, doing quite a bit of damage, but not enough. As the last suspect will go into this Annihilate, super effective, but no KO just yet, as a Spore will go out into that Whimsicott, and now Whimsicott will have to take its first mandatory sleep turn in just a bit.
Yeah, indeed, that's really unfortunate for Elias, because now also his Tailwind is turned out, so that means that, yeah, that Whimsicott is going down next turn, either way you want it or not. Or he has to switch it out, of course, but then still it is asleep, so it's probably dead weight at this point. Annihilate, yeah, that third turn of sleep, if he would wake up, he would be faster than anyone on the field and probably get the KO here or there. Rage Fist goes off. I think it goes into the Amoonguss slot, doing a good chunk of damage there, but not enough to get a KO. Citrus Berry is popped right there, bringing it back to a good amount of health.
It is unfortunate. It has only been hit once, of course, so its Rage Fist was only boosted once as well.
Yeah.
Meaning, right now, this last suspect will be able to go into the Annihilate, and that will KO it. Just trying to make sure that this Whimsicott, that is an item, isn't able to wreak any more damage than it already has. Amoonguss goes for the Spore, not really effective Whimsicott, and now Whimsicott has the chance to wake up. Now.
Indeed. I think the Rage Fist into the Amoonguss slot was always for that pesky little Pelipper that was coming up, because as Elias, you don't want the rain to be up, because that's a problem for your Basket Legion, because Basket Legion is then the fastest on the field. Now Ursaluna's on the field. Still, Last Respect is locked in, so you can expect a Pelipper coming in right now, but then you still have to hope that the Whimsicott wakes up this turn, which is a possibility as of right now.
Yeah. Being locked into Last Respect, you can't really damage this Ursaluna, so only real target is the Whimsicott or a potential switch out. Whimsicott has the chance to wake up, but we've seen just now Elias, his Pokemon has chosen to sleep for 3 turns. So let's see if he's waking up earlier, as it is waking up, going for the Tailwind, being able to set that up again. Most of the time you see Whimsicott only being able to put up 1, but with this Blood Moon as well, this Amoonguss will go down with this fresh new Tailwind, the fresh new looks that it has as well, will mean that right now this Last Effects will go into the Whimsicott. Marius will have to switch something else in. Elias does not have access anymore to Sunny Day, so Pelipper is free to switch in, boosting this Basket Legion as well.
Indeed, that means that the Tailwind that just was set up is a bit annihilated, because Basket Legion is the fastest thing on the field, if I am correct. We see Typhlosion getting brought in. That is not really something you want for Elias, because yeah, that's with the Drizzle and Last Respects Basket Legion there. Yeah,
it's really fast, but don't forget that the Typhlosion as well has the Tailwind up.
Yeah.
So this is doubling his speed just like the Basket Legion, so meaning this Typhlosion will most likely be the fastest thing on the field.
Oh,
it will just have to choose its targets very carefully, because Pelipper is of course that Sash set. So Marius has to decide if he's switching on the Basket Legion, losing that to potential Shadow Ball, or if he's losing his potential Pelipper.
Yeah, indeed, and as we saw with the previous game against Bjorn, this one doesn't run Wide Guard. So actually, Elias is free to click just Eruption, doing a lot of damage if he wants. We see the Protect coming out for Pelipper, making sure that that bird still survives. We see what is we going to see next. We see the Eruption coming off into that Basket Legion. That's probably enough to get a KO. Not enough. Ooh. I thought it would be enough with this Choice Specs Eruption on a full HP Typhlosion, but actually it is not, meaning that Typhlosion goes down to the last result.
Yeah, plus is of course, unfortunately, it was +1. The unfortunate part is, of course, with rain, your fire moves do get half by 50%.
That's indeed huge. Yeah, and you see that weather, the weather wars that we have seen in the previous top 4, and this finals is indeed the game decider here. Whoever gets his weather up is probably going to win the games, and in this round it seems that Marius has that game won.
Yeah, as long as that Pelipper Sash is intact, it will always be able to weather ball this Ursaluna as well. Just being able to freely enjoy that. Just being able to survive that. We have the Hyper Voice coming out. It will KO it. We've not KO'd the Pelipper just yet, but it had to focus Sash, as we do remember. And so that means this Pelipper is able to attack right now. It is going to be that Weather Ball, and that will be the end of our Blood Moon Ursaluna and also our game 1.
Indeed, in the end it was still very close. If a crit would have hit against a Pelipper, that would be for Elias, of course. But still, yeah, everything, I think Marius played really, really well. I don't know how their previous round would have gone, But I'm thinking that Marius is adapting really, really well this time around. Knowing what Elias wants to do, knowing which Pokemons to bring in. Now it's up to Elias. Okay, Marius has me figured out. The standard plan of Whimsicott, Annihilate, and Typhlosion, Ursaluna in the back is maybe not working. We haven't seen many times. It's still a good thing to bring. I don't say Elias can't win without it. But yeah, we have to see, is he going to adapt? Maybe like prioritizing different moves, maybe not terroring his Whimsicott. He has the options to do something with the mons he has in his team, but we just have to wait what he's going to do.
I felt like the first turns of the first game were both players a bit struggling and feeling each other out really to seeing what they were gonna do, because he had to trick, he had to Annihilate, just go for a Dream Punch, for example. They were still they were really feeling each other out. They have played in Swiss, but this is for more. This is for champion title. This is for 50 CP, a trophy, a World's Pikachu, a Switch game. They both get anyway.
Yeah. So both are getting a Switch game anyway, but indeed, like, it's a very nice trophy to have.
It's a very nice Pikachu.
Elias has already, I think, a couple of trophies under his name.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it would be really cool to see Marius, I think, bringing his first one.
Yeah.
Of like really having a trophy there.
Yeah,
it's not something that you normally do in the cup, so don't expect to get a trophy every time you come to a cup in Belgium. But for this one,
this is once a year. We'd like to spend money just this once.
Yeah,
you know?
just once.
Yeah, just once.
You know, be fancy and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like
we're flawed in every way, but once every blue moon.
exactly. You can
Belgium
still donate
shows.
to PayPal Schmon at _
We see
the leads.
Yeah, we see the leads, and we see a lot of differences here. We see the Farigiraf, Blood Moon, Ursaluna coming out for Elias, and Pelipper, Gallade coming for Marius.
Okay, so what does this lead tell us? Whimsicott might have been left behind, or Elias is fully reliant on this Trick Room mode right now, because Pelipper is able to go for, easily go for a potential water move, plus the Gallade going for a Sacred Sword onto this Farigiraf, blocking the option of this Ursaluna being able to really do damage into that Trick Room. But that is a hard call to make, because if this Ursaluna just goes for an offensive type of attack, that could prove detrimental as well. Pelipper actually switching out, so if we're seeing a Protect plus a Trick Room, this could very well be a very good turn for Elias. We do see the Amoonguss switching in, and with that Farigiraf still being on the field, we have the Double Protect just scouting out what the options here are, as his Gallade is just going for the Sacred Sword, and as we see, it went into that Ursaluna slot.
Yeah, indeed. I think Elias was scouting out what Marius was going for, because you have the Pelipper and the Gallade on the field, meaning that an option for Tailwind and an option for Trick Room was on the field. So yeah, you don't want to just go for Trick Room on Farigiraf, because if Gallade goes for that, yeah, you are a bit in an unfortunate situation. Yeah, because he canceled that out, and if you go for Tailwind Pelipper, yeah, then you're still the fastest turn on sleep. You wasted a turn. So now Elias knows, okay, a Sacred Sword is maybe coming into my Ursaluna. So can I prepare for that, or do something about that?
You know, there's been told to me that you have 3 levels of play. You do first the obvious play, which is it's super effective or super effective. The second play is predicting your opponent. You see that as switching out. And then the third one is do absolutely something crazy. And I think it's time for absolutely crazy, as we have the Clefairy actually switching in for this Ursaluna slot, as this Ursaluna is going for the Terra immediately as well. So if Marius did not go for the Sacred Sword right now, this Ursaluna will definitely do a lot of damage as well.
Yeah, indeed. You can't go for that Blood Moon. You can go for that Hyper Force. Now with the Terra normal boost, that's gonna get a lot of damage onto the opposite side. If you see the Sacred Sword coming out into Ursaluna, it is enough to survive thanks to the Clefairy that is switched in. We see Blood Moon getting activated probably for that Amoonguss slot. We see the Blood Moon landing there, one-hit KOing the little mushroom, and that was a very, very nice play from Elias' side on the field.
Immediately being able to get rid of that Amoonguss is so important. This Ursaluna still has one more hit in him as well, and this next hit could very well be a very strong one, because if you let Ursaluna use 2 Blood Moons, you might as well run away home crying, because that will absolutely delete 2 Pokemon as well.
Yeah, indeed. I'm not quite sure if you will land another Blood Moon, because the next Life Orb damage is going to get KO'd. You have also that Basculegion that's on the opposite side of the field. You don't have the Tailwind option anymore, so Basculegion is the fastest here. We see a Protect coming off, meaning that Clefairy is up and running, seeing what it can do, of course, going for a Protect as well, making sure, stalling out that Rain, and B, make sure that your Pokemons are safe.
Yeah, and seeing if Marius went for the Wild Guard for the potential
Yeah.
Hyper Voice. Now, do you want chip damage on both of these Pokemon, or do you want the KO? Because a Blood Moon can KO either of these Pokemon. The issue is there's still a Pelipper in the back that is able to switch in for a potential Focus Sash as well. So
Yeah.
you're kind of calling heads or tails, where's the Blood Moon gonna land?
Yeah, indeed. It's really the coin flip scenario that every VGC player dreads or hates to see, of course. We see the Blood Moon on its last limb, so only one move is going to be put off against Marius' field. Of course, Wide Guard can be clicked upon up and up and up, so he can spam that if he wants to. But now Blood Moon is still on Elias' side of the field, meaning that indeed, like Simon said, we can KO like one Pokemon directly. But you have to also be careful of the Basculegion. Basculegion is not attacking, switching out. That would mean that the Pelipper is joining the field once again. Let's see what Elias was planning, and follow me, of course, making sure that Ursaluna is safe, making sure that the hit can go off. We see Psycho God into that slot, doing just under half damage. Blood Moon is locked in for Elias, meaning that Ursaluna goes down, but it's landing on the Pelipper, unfortunately. So a good switch there for Marius, because now he has Basculegion still there, Pelipper is still surviving, and the Blood Moon is now down.
Yeah, with Blood Moon down, that does mean you do have another niche option right now as well, which is Clefairy is still able to redirect a potential Psychic God plus other move from this Pelipper, as Farigiraf is able to set up the Trick Room, depending on what Elias has on the back, to really try and deal with this Basculegion in the back, because as long as it's Rain, it's kind of hard to deal with. But the Farigiraf itself could throw hands as well. We've seen plenty of Farigirafs being the offensive type, being able to deal a lot of damage left and right.
Yeah, indeed, the Farigiraf is like one that cannot be slapped upon, knowing that it can do a lot of damage even without the Throat Spade set. We see Wide Guard getting used, meaning that Marius was waiting for maybe a Hyper Voice coming off. We see Weather Ball getting thrown into the slot of Clefairy, just protecting there, doesn't do anything, and Hyper Voice being locked in by Elias as well, meaning that it gets cancelled out there as well, meaning Pelipper and Gallade are safely on the field and nothing has changed. Only thing that has changed is that the rain has stopped.
Alright, rain has stopped, so that means Basculegion is no longer the fastest thing on the possible field. Now, a Weather Ball is now just a normal type of attack because there's no weather. If there's no weather, it's just a simple beam, so to speak. But this...
I want to say a wet noodle ball, but it's not raining anymore, so it's not...
Well, honestly, dry noodle ball.
Dry noodle ball.
Yeah, it's dry Ike, you eat that.
Yeah.
As a Weather Ball is coming out, it is neutral, it is not boosted, so it's not all that strong either, so barely doing any damage. But is it enough for this Psychic God? It is
enough.
So that means this Farigiraf now has to move and really make this next turn count as well. It is a Psychic into that Pelipper slot, being able to deal with that. And there's still one more Pokemon left on Elias' side, and that means it's 2 versus 2. Elias still with his back against the wall against this Basculegion.
Indeed, and the most beautiful thing right now is all the Pokemons on both people's sides are full health. Everything is possible. Yeah, right, ladies and everyone who's watching or re-watching this. And we see the Annihilate coming out. Very, very good pick here, because I think it can survive less. I'm not sure if it can survive less respects.
It's 150 base power, so
yeah.
I'm ducked.
So, and it is an Assault Fest one, so yeah, we have to see. I'm really not sure what are the good plays here.
Yeah, it's not one of the easiest things here to decide, but it is a final turn, and Elias, if someone can crack the code, I do feel like Elias is one of those people, because his like, look at his forehead, it's big.
Indeed, I feel the brains cracking, finding out a way, an open way. We see that Farigiraf is protected right now. Final Gambit goes into that Gallade, meaning that at least 2 Pokemon are now called out, and we have to see which move Basque Legion locked into. If it is the last respect, then it means that Farigiraf is pretty much safe here for the whole game, and we see the wave crash coming out. So yeah, we have to.
It is choice band.
Yeah.
It is Swift Swim though, so it's not adaptability. And this is a Farigiraf. And Farigiraf is incredibly fast. So is it able to take this?
It survived with 1 HP, but is that enough for the Psychic to KO? We have to see if it is enough. It is not enough, so that means that Marius is winning this game, is winning this final, and is taking home his first trophy of the Poképlay Championship here in Aalst.
Well played to Marius, very well played. Incredible job coming here. So, very well, congrats. Very well played as well. Very well played. There you go. First fist bump him, then complain. Okay.